Yeah, I, I, I thought I made this up, but I probably didn't make it up. I probably didn't make it up. But I tell people a lot of times, and particularly young people, a lot of the people that come into our office are already wealthy and we're helping them. And we help them continue to stay wealthy and get wealthier. They're, retirement age or pre-retirement. But sometimes we have, some young people come in and need some help. And we always try to help everybody that comes in here. And I tell the young people that are just trying to figure things out, there's a formula for accumulating wealth, and it just has two elements in it. One is the discipline to save the money rather than spend it, and the other is the wisdom to invest it wisely. And Jesse and I, can't give anybody the discipline to save the money rather than spend it. They have to learn that. They have to. Maybe they already have learned it, but they have to get that themselves. But where we come in is as investment professionals, giving them the wisdom on how to invest it wisely and grow it safely.
So we're going to talk about 5 essential components for building wealth today.
So the first essential thing for building wealth is to live below your means. Don't get on the treadmill of earning and consuming. 75% of millionaires never carried a credit card balance. 94% live on less than what they make. I guess that other 6% are people that inherited some money.
Mm-hmm.
But only a third of the millionaires in the 10,000 that Dave Ramsey studied average making over $100,000 a year. And my dear grandpa, he's long gone, Grandpa Peachy, your great grandpa, he used to say, Bobby, because my dad's name was Bob too, so in the family my name was Bobby. And he would give me wisdom and he would say, Bobby, doesn't matter how much you make, what matters is how much you spend. And Grandpa wasn't ever what you'd call a rich person, but he came from being absolutely dirt poor to having a nice life and a nice paid off house, and not super wealthy or anything like that. But he raised his family and started my dad and my uncles and aunts on their way. And but it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you spend. Meaning that if you spend more than you make or spend all you make, you're never going to have anything. You have to spend less than what you make.
Yep. And so most of the millionaires or the highly wealthy people that we work with and the people in these studies have an attitude of saving instead of an attitude of consuming. So I think a lot of people that want to look rich have this attitude of consuming, but those are the people who actually don't actually have any wealth. So most of the people who we have worked with that are very wealthy, a lot of them live in really modest homes, and they'll pull up and they drive a car that you would never expect someone who has that much money to drive. Usually they're used vehicles. Most wealthy people in that Millionaire Next Door book buy cars that are between 3 and 5 years old. They hardly ever buy brand new cars, and they rarely drive luxury cars unless they buy them used.
Right, right.
So being financially independent requires a level of organization. It's kind of like anything. If you want to achieve something, you have to have a plan of how to get there. And you have to have the long goal, right? And then you have to have short-term goals that can get you to the long goal. And it's the same thing with money. And so you have to set near and long-term goals, and you have to figure out how much you need to save in order to get to those goals every month. And then you have to organize your finances so that you have a plan for how much to spend in each category. A lot of people might not think that millionaires live on a budget, but they do. They have a plan and know how much their family spends in each spending category, housing, groceries, clothes, all of those things. And they usually plan them out ahead of time for the year and track their spending. And the majority of millionaires actually even use a grocery list which is an interesting statistic. So you'd think that people that have a lot of money aren't as worried about that kind of thing, but that's why
They
they
have
have
a lot of
money.
money because they pay attention to it. They pay attention to their spending.
Yep.